Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to a very special episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. Today, we're going to be talking about RedState, the eagerly awaited religious thriller from Kevin Smith, in which three boys go into the woods looking for sex and get kidnapped by a religious cult, who is intent on punishing them for their wicked ways. This film stars Michael Angarano, Kyle Gallner, Nicholas Braun, Michael Parks, Melissa Leo, John Goodman, Kerry Bishe, Stephen Root, and Ralph Garman. I don't know where to start with this film. I loved every single second of it. Kevin Smith, who most of you probably know from his earlier works like Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Dogma, things like that, has gone completely out of his own comfort zone in terms of the content of this film and the general caliber of this picture compared to his earlier works. He's got big name actors. Melissa Leo, for instance, gave us that Oscar-winning performance in The Fighter last year. And, John Goodman, who's, everybody loves John Goodman. How can you not? Kevin Smith has really written a very strong script, and it's separated into three distinct acts: sex, religion, and politics. Those three famous things you never talk about at the dinner table. The film still has certain aspects of a Kevin Smith film. There are a few lengthy monologues that various characters will go on, notably in the very beginning and the very end of the picture. This film has all of the good parts of Kevin Smith's oeuvre and none of the bad. He's spent this past 17 years honing his craft, and it comes across brilliantly in RedState. He's got Oscar-worthy performances from people like Michael Parks as Aben Cooper, the leader of this religious cult, who may or may not bear resemblance to Pastor Fred Phelps of the Westboro Baptist Church. John Goodman comes in about halfway through as the lead ATF agent, who plays a completely different character than we've ever seen him play before. The main trio of Angarano, Gallner, and Braun, I wouldn't heap praise on them like I am a lot of the others, but they're very believable teenage characters, and you definitely sympathize for them to an extent when everything starts going wrong. It's an intense movie, and it's not, I want to make it very clear, this is not a comedy. Kevin Smith might be known for his comedies, but this is not one of them. This is a movie that you're not going to feel comfortable with at various points. And not in the bad way, though. It's a drama, and it's a thriller, and it grabs you in a way that his other films aren't going to grab you. As I said earlier, it's brilliantly written. It's a deus ex machina that comes about in the climax that is totally out of left field, but isn't so out there as to be unbelievable, and it's not so out there to the point where you don't accept it as being feasible. The one bad thing about this movie, however, is that it's not being released in the traditional theatrical fashion, which is the original reason why I wasn't going to do a review on it until the DVD dropped next month. I'm going to come out right now. I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 religious nut jobs. There you go. I'm going to urge each and every one of you to see this movie and pay to see this movie. The reason why it's so important to pay for RedState is this. Kevin Smith made this movie himself. He raised the $4 million budget without any help from any studios. And the reason that it's not getting a theatrical distribution is because he turned down what would have been probably $25 million additional money that he would then have to make back with the profits from his films. Now, the average Kevin Smith picture makes about $30 million theatrically, so he would just barely be breaking even. But as it is now, you've got his $4 million budget that he's already made back. So every time that you spend money on RedState, you will be helping him finance his next film, because it's all profit from here on out. And if he wins, you win. Everybody wins. You can go to coopersdell.com, or have a link down there somewhere, and it'll list all the different ways that you can see it in video on demand. You can see it through your local cable providers, you can see it on iTunes, you can see it on YouTube. $10 will get you unlimited 24 hours of viewing this film, which is only about 90 minutes long. So if you watch it more than once, and you'll want to watch it more than once, it's just that good. Pretty good value for your money, if you ask me. It is coming to theaters for one night only on the 25th of September in various theaters around the country. You can go and see it, and it'll be followed by a satellite streaming Q&A from Kevin Smith, and you can tweet your questions at him, and if you get lucky, maybe he'll answer something that you want to know about the film. I'm not being paid to say any of this, by the way. I just love this movie that much, and I love the fact that he allows this kind of interactivity with the people who love his stuff. The way to guarantee yourself a fan base is to make yourself accessible. In the comments below, let me know how you ended up paying to see this film, what you thought of it, and what you think about the Westboro Baptist Church. I'm sure everyone has some choice words for that wonderful organization. Be sure to give me a big ol' thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Like I said in my video on the debt, I'll be seeing Contagion next week. I'm sorry for interrupting what I had planned, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Fade to black.